Obviously, what's at stake here is massive. It's massive. Can Auburn still achieve its goals if it loses tonight? Yes. Yes, you can still get wins in Norman, in College Station. And in fact, if you won both of those games, I think you could totally right the ship. But obviously, if you dropped it tonight, there's going to be lots of questions about Hugh Freeze. There's going to be lots of questions of like, okay, what's the point of getting all the talent on this roster if you can't win games like this? I'm not predicting that happen. I'm not predicting that to happen at all, Daryl. I think Auburn wins this game. I said it earlier in the week, 27-17. I think it's close throughout. Then in the fourth quarter, something happens where Auburn puts himself in a situation to have a decent enough lead to win by 2 scores, 10-ish points. That is my prediction. Despite there being more pressure on Auburn than Baylor, I think this is one of the first moments in a while where there's pressure on Auburn and they come through and they win a football game.
Well, this is why I think it's such an important game. I agree that they could still, in theory and theoretically, I'm not going to panic if they lose. They still have a lot to play for and right the ship. But in my opinion, Baylor could lose this game. I think this game is bigger for Auburn than it is Baylor. I'm not saying
it's not close.
It's not. Yeah, Auburn. If Baylor could lose this game, and I could still see a clear path of them winning 9. Auburn could lose this game
and competing for a spot in the Big 12, which means you're competing for a spot in the college football playoff.
If Auburn loses this game, I think it's a lot more difficult to get to 9 wins. I really do. I'm counting this game as a game Auburn has to have if they want to win 9 games. So that being said, and the talent level and some of the things that I just think from a matchup standpoint, and I'm not disrespecting Baylor at all. I just got done saying they can win 9 games this year or 10 games and be in the Big 12 championship game. I think Auburn wins 31-23. I think Auburn's defense plays really, really well. I think their defense sets up or scores a touchdown themselves.
What's your score again, Daryl?
31-23. Okay. So I could see a scenario where a pick 6 comes into play, or a scenario where a turnover gives Auburn the ball at the 10-yard line, and it's a offensively they score, but the defense is why. This special team scenario, I really like what Auburn can do from a matchup standpoint. Now, if this game gets ugly and it's in the muck and it's just no one's moving the ball and it's very boring offensively and it's like this typical early season game where both teams are feeling each other out and nothing's getting going offensively, that still plays to Auburn's strength, in my opinion, because I think Auburn's defense is superior. And so, I like the matchup, even though I like Baylor. And I think Baylor will end up at the end of the year being a top 25 football team. I could look through their schedule and see 8 or 9 wins regardless of what happens.
There. It's there. So, they're similar to Auburn. They got to get through the first month of the season. Then
they got SMU and somebody else.
Arizona State, I think, is the other one.
Yeah, pretty early. Yeah. And they also got Samford. I know that. I know they play Samford. So they've got a pretty tough schedule.
Whoa. They build up the Houston Cougars defense too. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Another prediction that I'm going to throw out there is, this is the biggest game tonight. Like, this is going to get some national attention because people are craving football being back. Obviously, the games Thursday night were a little bit of an appetizer. Week 0 was fun with K-State and Iowa State. But I think this is going to be a big one. There's going to be a lot of national attention Friday. And I think the discussions Friday evening / Saturday morning going into the rest of the slate of week 1 is going to be, oh my goodness, Auburn's defense is going to be crazy. And I don't think it really matters what Jackson Arnold does. I'm anticipating that Auburn's defense is going to make a statement. There will be some retractors that say, oh my goodness, but it's Baylor. They can't do anything against good defenses historically, whatever. And I think most people are going to say, no, that looked like it's supposed to. Auburn's defense looked like it's supposed to as far as pressure, as far as suffocating, coverage downfield with these DBs, and then just the athleticism at linebacker. I think it's going to check a lot of boxes, Daryl. I think that's going to be the biggest national takeaway regarding the Auburn Tigers in this game.
Yeah, and I think though, even though that could be the narrative, and I agree with you, Baylor could still end up scoring 17 to 20 points, and it doesn't look like it's a whitewash or a really, really dominant defensive performance.
Yeah.
But then as the season goes on and Baylor's hanging 40 on people, you're like, wow, that Auburn defense held them to 20. You see what I'm saying? It becomes even more of a narrative as the season goes on when they're playing Big 12 defenses and really just, putting up big numbers. So
yeah.
As you know, you have people that you talk to and you have really, really good sources. I have heard that this is, as far as the excitement level of a defense, as good as going into a season since 2019 when Brown and Davidson and some of those linebackers and, Auburn had McCreary back there and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, it's going to be a fun opportunity for this defense. Programming throughout the weekend. I will go live as soon as Auburn and Baylor wraps up. It'll be that way for every game this season. Saturday morning, this will normally be Sunday morning, but obviously for tomorrow morning, Daryl and I will have a show for you that drops Saturday morning, and then I'll have something that drops for you Sunday morning as well. I don't know exactly what that'll look like yet. It might depend on, scheduling and also what happens tonight. But we will have you covered tonight, immediately after the game, tomorrow morning, and Sunday morning, no matter what happens. Daryl, how can people check out everything you've got going on, of course, outside of those things I just mentioned?
You can follow me on X, DAP6410. If anything, any little nugget drops, so I'm out here. I think I'll be going live at halftime from the press box with Kyle Rush of the Barn, kind of giving a little bit of breakdown. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of content coming out the next 3 days.
Yeah, Kyle will be going live for the entirety of the football game tonight over at thebarnauburn.com, and I'll hop in there as well. So be sure to make sure you're watching that. It's kind of your second screen experience. But please like the video. Please subscribe. We will see you next time. That'll be after the football game. Crazy to say. We made it. This has been Locked on Auburn.